with somebody who was born in Lithuania, lived in Pakistan, is now based in Dubai, and she actually happens to be Miss Victoria. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you feeling today?
वालेकुम अस्सलाम मैं ठीक हूँ आप क्या हाल है
हम भी ठीक
Wow,
है,
I'm
बिल्कुल
TK.
ठीक
Thank you
ठाक है,
so
आप
much.
ठीक है, बिल्कुल ठीक है.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ठीक है
Thank you so much, Victoria, for your time. It's wonderful to have you over here. First of all, I think that the first question needs to be, when you have a home away from home, what sort of a feeling is it?
it's mixed feeling because your heart is divided into different countries one part is in Pakistan one part is in Lithuania and another part is in Dubai so the feeling is mixed but it's always wonderful.
How have you woven together and blended these beautiful cultures? Like, what have you embedded in your lifestyle from all three cultures that you value a lot?
So first, I'm born in Lithuania. As a Lithuanian, I am always a bit closed. Once I came to Pakistan, I saw how welcoming people are. I embrace the culture. I embrace the food. I learned to cook. I clearly remember that first time I made my roti, how hard it was and how the family loved it, even though I remember we were sitting and I made roti and I just put it on a table. Everyone were eating and it was saying nice. But as soon as I tried it, I was just like, how can you eat it? So the people are very, very welcoming in Pakistan. And then from Dubai, it's such a mixture of cultures that it's just so great to be here. I love Pakistani dresses. And even today, I'm wearing one. So these are just the things where I feel that we are really multicultural.
And Victoria, you do realize that you yourself have put yourself into this situation, right?
I guess I know, but love makes things happen, and that's what happened almost 10 years ago.
And thank you so much for saying that. Obviously, I think we would, first of all, for our audiences who are out there as well, we would love to listen how you and our brother-in-law actually met, how did things unfold, and who was the first one to propose, what was the reaction of the family. So please take us through and then we'll come back towards your multicultural journey.
Of course. So we met when we were really young. I was just 19 years old, and my husband Umer, he was 22 at the time. I was doing an internship in Europe, and he was as well doing internship over there. We met over there. Then we just were pen friends for almost 4 years. I was studying in Lithuania and across Europe. He was studying and working in Pakistan and across the world as well. And then after I finished my university, I thought, like, why not visit Pakistan? So I went over there when I was 23. I remember when I landed in Lahore and how welcoming the weather was in July. You know, once the aircraft just opened and that welcoming humidity just met me. And we went to his family. We met, and then after 2 weeks, we got married.
After 2 weeks, so
Wow.
when you came to Pakistan, you had it at the back of your mind that you might end up marrying this gentleman that you were doing internship with.
I was thinking, I mean, I always felt warm feelings towards him, but it was long distance and we were just friends. So once we met, we just understood that we cannot go apart anymore and we got married.
You actually happen to be soul partners. Most of the time people might not know about it, but there are people when they meet, they click, and that's it from there onwards. It's great. There's a reason why I've asked you this, and I'm still figuring out what will be the best words to choose to ask you this question. So please answer it openly. And
Of course.
so imagine over here in Pakistan, most of the time, what the families will always bring up it because we're talking about multicultural journeys. I would want to ask you about how it is to kind of sail in between two different religions or two different identities when families come from a different religion and the other families from a different religion. How do you think that it will have its own impact on the personality of both the people who live as a couple?
So I think it really depends on the perception or how open-minded you are. Because once I went to Pakistan, I never felt that anyone forced anything upon me. I mean, God is one, right? And we agreeing upon that. I don't think for us it was a big issue. Of course, if there's like my family, they're Christians, and my husband's family, they are Muslims, but they get along really well. It's all about respect, love, and how open-minded you are. So it was never an issue for us. For we celebrate Eid, of course. Eid is great, and then my family celebrate Christmas and Easter, and I introduce all the celebrations to my daughter. It's really important for me that she would understand all the customs and traditions. But again, no one ever forced anything upon me. It's just my family is so open-minded. My husband's family are open-minded, and they accepted me as I am their daughter.
Exactly. And now let's come down to, the core of it. Now imagine, so you landed in Lahore and there all of a sudden people are speaking in Punjabi. हाँ नी कुड़िए की हाल है तेरा बड़ी किन्नी किन्नी सोनी कुड़ी है ए किथों ले गया all of these questions are actually
Yes,
kind of
yes.
right in front of you. So did you understand Urdu first, or did you start or learn to understand Punjabi first?
I started understanding Urdu, but once I landed, I just knew Assalamu alaikum. Or kya hai, I did not even know. That was it. Assalamu alaikum. And everyone suddenly speaking in Urdu. I did not understand anything. But luckily, my husband's family were speaking English very well, spoken English. And they helped me to learn Urdu. I understood that without Urdu in Pakistan, it would be quite difficult. The majority of people, I would say, understand English, but they would still prefer to reply in Urdu. So even in family gatherings, we sit together and I cannot keep bugging and asking my husband, what did they say? What did they say? So I just understood if I am living in the country, I need to learn Urdu. And with the help of my mother-in-law and with a bit help of the internet, I embraced and I learned, I would say, okay, Urdu.
Okay, so let's check your Urdu now. I mean, obviously I'm no one to kind of check, but take us through, how much Urdu have you learned? So ask us questions and we will try to respond back in Urdu.
I mean, we
Okay.
won't try.
आपका दिन आज कैसा रहा था?
अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ही शुरू हुआ है, ठीक जा रहा है. Wonderful. I think that's a good question.
बिल्कुल ठीक.
Next, please.
और आपने नाश्ता आज क्या किया?
जो है वो क्योंकि मैं जल्दी उठा था तो घर पे सब सो रहे थे तो बाहर से ही किया है, लेकिन मैं बता नहीं सकता क्योंकि फिर ब्रांडिंग हो जाएगी. जी, बहुत अच्छा सवाल पूछा आपने. अगला अगला सवाल.
और आज मौसम पाकिस्तान में कैसा है?
पाकिस्तान में मौसम, अभी स्टूडियो का मौसम तो बहुत ही खूबसूरत है और अच्छा है, चूंकि आपसे बात हो रही है. बट आई थिंक इट्स ग्रेट हाउ you've put in so much effort for that one particular person that you love. And but over here in families there are different customs, and for you to kind of get used to it, it's different. For example, imagine that if there's a newly wedded bride who's actually going to come into your house, she will look up to her in-laws, devas, and there's so many relationships out there as well, and how there's always a hierarchy of the elder and the younger one. Was it a little challenging for you in the beginning to kind of get along, because then there is chachus and there's mamus and then there's puppos and then there's nanka and then there's dadas, and obviously, just if you pick up one chachu, he'll have 7 kids. You pick up puppo, she'll have 7 kids as well. So bigger families. Was it a little challenging for you?
I would say no, because again, coming back to the same point, I was so lucky to have a family, to get into the family which is so open-minded, and they embraced me as I am their daughter. So my husband has a sister, which is great. She's open-minded. His mom and dad are as well very open-minded. For me, maybe was a bit different that families are so close in Pakistan, right? Even your cousin's cousin is your close relative. So, and I remember as we are Lithuanians, we are a bit more restricted. I cannot say cold, but if you come to us, at the beginning, we might seem a bit cold. We are not that maybe welcoming. And when you go to someone's house, you, of course, call and tell them that you're coming. In Pakistan, once we got married, so many amazing people just came to see us. And I was feeling like, cannot say a celebrity, but I was feeling so special that everyone just coming to see me, even from far or later in the evening, they would come to see me and meet me. So that was a great experience.
And the best part about our culture is that imagine that Isha over here is, off the record, she would always say stuff about her puppo, but she still managed to, go for food to her puppo's place on this Eid. I'm just kidding. What if her puppo's listening? Isha, you're over here as well. Go ask her your question.
What I'm very curious about is that you are a mother to a wonderful little child, and you are also a very charismatic and influencing influencer. So how do you manage this, and what culture dominates in your home the most? Is it the European, is it the Arab, or is it the Pakistani, Desi side? And what is your child more inclined towards?
Okay, so my daughter's name is Elisa. She just turned 8 years old. She is wonderful, and I am trying to embrace all the cultures, like all three cultures. But I have to say that probably Pakistani culture wins. I'll tell you why. There is one reason, because in general, I think Pakistani culture has stronger being than Lithuanian. I mean, we don't have like, traditional dressing or that so many traditional dishes. So in our house, of course, Pakistani food is almost every second day, which my daughter loves and adores, especially dals, biryanis, pulaus, and all these. And I cook it really well. I always joke that even sometimes I can challenge some Desi wife and I might win. So, about the languages, I speak with my daughter Lithuanian. She's learning at school Arabic and Urdu, and I hope with the time passing by, she will be more fluent in Urdu because over here, my parents-in-law are in Pakistan, but once they come, I always encourage her she would speak with them in Urdu and on the phone as well. So I really want that she would, because for me, the culture as well is the language. So it's really important for me that she would speak Urdu, Lithuanian, and English, of course, is there. And yeah, Pakistani culture, I would say, wins.
No, no, I mean, it's not even about winning. I think it's two cultures coming
Yes,
together,
yeah.
an amalgamation of cultures is always beautiful for kids. But, because you were sharing, how much you've learned Urdu, why don't you, kind of teach us a bit of Lithuanian as well? For example, आज आपका दिन कैसा था? आज आपने क्या खाया? Let's get started with that. Let's see if we can
Learn,
speak
huh?
Lithuanian. Yeah, so please
Of course.
take us through.
So let's start with the easiest. It will be, hello, my name is this and this. So it would be labas, mano vardas, Victoria.
Labas, Mano, Valgas, Shahzad Khan.
Very, very similar. Good job.
Good job.
Okay, Isha said. No, wait,
Wait, say it again.
Victoria. Isha has to say it. Isha has to say it as well. So please don't say anything now. Don't help her. But Isha has to say.
Wait,
Please,
I
Isha.
forgot.
So, Labas.
Labis.
Yeah.
Again.
Manavalgus.
Manavalgus.
Isha.
Isha.
Is that correct?
Great job.
Yeah.
Yay.
I mean, I'm good at it. Okay, so the next one is.
Okay. Today is a very beautiful day. Šiandien yra labai graži diena.
Wait, I'm very sorry, Victoria, but my producer was speaking in my ear, so I couldn't hear you. Please again.
Okay, no problem. So let's say today is a very beautiful day. Šiandien yra graži diena.
Shandy Dira.
Graži diena.
Grazie.
Diana.
Dina.
Diana.
Diana.
Good.
All
Diana.
right, we're on the track. I think it's beautiful. Thank you so much, for sharing so much of insight. But very quickly, because you mentioned that, how Pakistani culture is so vibrant, and for you to come into it, it's amazing. So we have viewers probably in 46 different countries. Why don't you share a bit about Lithuanian culture with us as well? And
Of
what are
course.
the differences in between Pakistani culture and the Lithuanian culture? So the differences.
Okay, so the differences, let's start with the food. That is for sure. Pakistan has spicy food. We are more just salt and herbs and black pepper. Then language. Then about welcoming people. We are welcoming, but we are more restricted. We are not that open. What else?
Yeah. I
Religion,
mean, how
of
we have
course.
joint family systems,
Um,
how everybody
and
lives together.
Nuclear family.
Yeah, so
and
that happened maybe a little bit before. Now it's not that common. Mostly people live separately. That's what I mentioned before as well, right? And then we would not, families are close, but not that close. We don't consider our cousin our very close relative, right? And I think we don't come so often together as in Pakistan, right? You almost every day go to someone's place, drink chai, or have a meeting together, and family gatherings. Again, it just happens during the big celebrations such as Christmas and Easter. So I think these are the main differences, and we have a lot of similarities, of course,
Exactly.
such
Obviously,
as
yeah, please go ahead.
yes, yes. So such as just loving each other. Um, what else?
Yeah, okay, let me ask you this, because this will make it simpler for you. Let me ask you this. So, imagine over here, even if I am, alhamdulillah, 40 years old, and I still live my parents, is that something which we will get to see in Lithuania? Because I think that's one difference where how children above 18 will actually move out, start their own life, will certainly not be staying with their parents, and it's not even considered good for them.
So I think it doesn't happen very often, but in cases if, for example, your parent is already elder and they need a care, it happens quite often that the kids would live with their parents because the parent needs help or they are already elder and they are unable to take care of themselves. So in these cases, it does happen, but it's not very common to live together with your parents until you're 40.
Exactly. I think that's great as well. And one of the statements that you've mentioned, the idea that home is not just where you are born, but where you grow, love, laugh, and belong. I think it's beautiful. Thank you so much, Victoria, for your time. Thank you so much for representing our culture in such a beautiful manner, for accommodating our brother-in-law so well as well. And what's his name, by the way?
His name is Umer.
Umair Bhai, I think, happens to be one of those blessed people on this planet, who actually got a lovely wife, who actually looks after him and speaks so great about, his culture and whatever recipes we eat. Because imagine that wherever or whichever part of the globe we go to, people could actually tell that we are Pakistanis by just smelling spices from us, So I think that's
Our
exactly
garlic and our
something where
haldi,
people might
tikka
struggle to
masalas.
kind of settle in. But thank you so much, Miss Victoria, for being with us. Thank you so much, Bhabhi, for being with us.